You've made it to the penultimate day of the EPT Grand Final. Only 14 people stand between you and poker glory. 2 of them are poker powerhouses. So, do you sit there with reverence?
Only Schemion is definitely one of those we don't want to play against.
Oli play very good, but I think Johnny is tougher.
I avoid playing poker with him because I know he's good.
Or do you stand tall?
Lodden and Ole are a really good player, but I'm really confident in myself, so I think I will win.
Now's the time to test your mettle against the game's very best. Fold or raise. Flight or fight. It's the business end of the PokerStars and Monte-Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final. And the final table is just around the corner. A host of poker's elite descended on the Salle des Etoiles, and 564 players have been whittled down to just 15. Every one of them has his eyes on the €1 million top prize, and of course, the coveted EPT trophy. Last time, enthusiastic amateur Lyndon Basher was on the cusp of elimination until a lucky river gave him a lifeline.
Holy dooly.
Ludovic Geilich wasn't so lucky, and neither was team pro Andre Akari. But the real story took place between 2 EPT heavyweights. Schemion landed some early punches.
I want million, man. I want million.
But the big blows came from Johnny Lodden.
It's good, Johnny. Well played.
Making him a serious contender as we head into round 5. Well, let's talk about today's feature table lineup. What are the main story points?
The biggest name of the table is Johnny Lodden. There's an EPT bridesmaid looking to take home his first title.
Also Johnny Lodden. There's a guy hoping to make the final table of this event for the 2nd time in 3 years.
Still Johnny Lodden. And then, of course, there's the tournament boss, the chip leader with 15 remaining, whose name I cannot recall. Seriously, though, who is it? No one told me.
Johnny has been on a tear in Monaco. He's the most experienced player remaining, and he's already come agonizingly close to taking home a trophy.
I've won 3rd from here 2 years ago and 8th place in Budapest. And I'm still waiting for my 1st place finish. And it would taste amazing if I can take that trophy tomorrow.
Sitting to his left at the feature table is last season's EPT Player of the Year, Schemion. The poker wizard is well aware of his reputation as one of the game's most aggressive sharks.
Some people avoid me a little bit. I guess some are a little bit scared for sure. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
They're both looking for their first main event title, while 3 players are looking to make history by becoming their country's first EPT champ. Adrian Mateos wants to win the trophy for Spain.
I always told my friend and my family that I really want to make a deep run in an EPT. Now I only want to win the tournament.
By the end of play today, only 6 players will still be in contention. And there is Mateos, the 2nd youngest ever World Series of Poker bracelet winner.
Koichi Nozaki's a 39-year-old project manager. No idea what that means. Schemion and Christopher Frank, they're gonna start a boy band, the Swag Street Boys. Sweet moves. Here's Johnny.
Important day.
Oh, he's still learning the days of the week.
While Martin Pastor is hoping to make his 2nd final table of the season, he came 5th in the 2015 PCA.
That's amateur Lyndon Basher and his supposedly soon-to-be fiancée Rachel. Just let me take one of these to go shopping.
They look confused.
Johnny always looks confused.
Well, he is the overwhelming chip leader with 2.3 million. Joining him and Ola on the main stage are amateurs Koichi Nozaki and Lyndon Basher, and a couple of the tournament short stacks, Jose Carlos Garcia and Romain Payon. Blinds right now are 10,000, 20,000 with a 3,000 ante. And on the very first hand of the day, we are going to sweat with Koichi Nozaki.
Konnichiwa, Koichi, brah.
He's under the gun with kings.
Raise, we should raise. Sorry.
Nice early start.
How does he know?
Koichi has raised to 42,000. Lyndon Basha and Jose Carlos Garcia fold, as does Muhedin Ferez. Johnny Lodden calls in position on the button. On a Schemion. Also calls out of position in the small blind.
No, not all is Schemion too.
Romaine Payon fold, so three-way to the flop.
Hold on to your potatoes. Unless we make quads, this isn't gonna be easy.
It's a queen high flop. Schemion checks.
Well, I like this flop so far. And yes, we should continue.
A C-bet of 83,000 from the amateur, who won his seat in a live satellite. Johnny calls.
No, not the both of them.
Yep, Oleg calls as well, so still three-way as we go to the turn.
Oh, I wish the door to this room wasn't locked.
The 10 of clubs, so the board gets straight here, and there's a flush draw out there now. And looks like Schemion is going to lead 212,000.
Oh man, I hate this. Best case scenario, Ola's semi-bluffing, which means best case scenario is that he isn't beating us yet.
Zaki calls. Round to Johnny.
$600.
That's a raise to 600,000.
Oh, come on! Well, the good news is if that Ola does anything other than fold, we can get away from this. We can get away like Andy Dufresne.
All in.
Schemion shoves.
Get busy living, get busy folding.
What does Nozaki do with his kings?
His jippers.
No, you don't need to count. We're folding. If we don't fold, I will escape from this room using nothing but a tiny little hammer.
Still, an overpair to the board. It's got to be tempting.
Not as tempting as escaping behind this Rita Hayworth poster.
Nozaki folds.
Thank goodness.
Lodden calls.
All in.
Lodden with a set of eights. Schemion with a straight.
What in the mother loving? How in the heck did we get caught up in the middle of all that? Screw these guys. It's too bad they both can't go broke. We were drawing dead.
I'm losing.
Yeah.
You're winning.
I'm losing my mind.
Schemion doubles up unless a 5, 8, 10 or queen hits the river. It's a deuce. Huge pot for Schemion.
650. 1,050,000.
Pay that man his swag.
I lose minimum.
Glass is half full type of guy.
If I raised there, I'd be knock him out. But where is the flop?
I'm still here.
And Ola Schemion is now the tournament chip leader with a stack of 2.7 million. Well, over at the secondary table, Juan Martin Pastor raised pre-flop with ace-king. Adrian Mateos has outflopped him. Pastor continues with 2 overs and a gut shot.
Pairing a flush draw for Mateos, he's gonna have no problem putting more chips in the middle. Sometimes the jack is good, and there's lots of good turns.
He calls the 35,000. Turn card to king, top pair now for Pastor.
Well, that's not one of those good turns I was talking about. Ew.
Mateos checks again.
Pastor was semi-bluffing the flop. Now he can value bet.
Blue chips are worth 5,000 each. So that's 65K. Once again, Mateos calls. The river is a jack. Trips for Mateos.
Not the card you think you're gonna hit, but it works.
He shoves on Pastor.
And Mateos can make this look like a busted draw. But in the end, Pastor's just got a pair, and my guess is he probably gets away from this.
Language, Timothy. Pastor does get away from it.
Good fold.
And Adrian Mateos, the 2013 World Series of Poker Europe champion, is now the biggest stack at that table. He's second in chips overall.
Just what the world needs, more 20-year-old millionaires.
We're back at the feature table. Koichi Nozaki is under the gun. He's got King Jack and he raises to 42,000.
Let's hope this hand works out better for him.
Lyndon Basha and Jose Carlos Garcia fold, as does Muhedin Ferez. Nines for Johnny Lodden.
Koichi's boned.
Johnny calls. Schemion with Queen Jack in the small blind. And that's a 3-bet. Schemion re-raises to 170,000.
Squeezing the tourist here is no accident. I'm sorry, but that's what he's doing.
On Nozaki, as Schemion dominated, he calls the 3-bet.
I like the fact that he's not backing down from these dudes, but that's probably a fold. I'm gonna quote the best poker movie of all time when I say, "He who fights and runs away lives to run away another day."
I don't remember that line in Rounders.
It's a deleted scene.
Lodden calls as well. 3-way to the flop.
Johnny's call is A-OK with pot odds and position and all that.
7-4 deuce. Lodden way ahead with this overpair. Schemion does not continue. Nozaki also checks.
I love his little finger check.
Looks like Johnny's betting.
190.
Not much all I can do here.
Yeah, he passes.
What's this now?
Yellow chips are 25,000 each. Koichi Nozaki is getting frisky. He raises to 410,000.
The thing is, he kind of can rep some overpairs and a set of sevens here.
Johnny shoves on him.
Wow. Johnny just sussed that out. Nozaki simply cannot call.
He folds.
I like that fold.
Listen.
Thank you. I wasn't that nice. It was hard.
I'm pretty sure you're buffing me not to.
Nah.
Lodden back up to second in chips. Is this the start of his comeback?
Hello, my babies. Want to listen to more of my jokes and embarrassing stories without poker getting in the way? Subscribe to EPT Not Live on iTunes or download it from soundcloud.com/EPT.live. There's guests, competitions, online dating. You can even get some behind-the-scenes gossip on the show you're watching right now. That's right, more layers than an advanced Rubik's Cube, which has 2 layers. More layers than that. EPT Not Live.
What is this about?
Okay, so you know how everything here is super expensive and super inflated?
Yeah.
That means the jobs must pay more here too. That's economics, including the job of hobo windshield washer. Think about it. The hobos here, probably make bank.
I don't see any hobos around here.
You just proved my point, James. You just proved my point. And don't expect to get in on this $1 million idea when I'm making bank.
Day 5 of the PokerStars and Monte-Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final started with 15 players, and during the break, the field dropped to 14, with Tom Hall given his marching orders by Russia's Dmitry Ivanov. And looks like we're about to lose another player. Anton Astapow has run ace-6 into ace-king.
Asta Wonder Twin Powers Unite, or something.
There's a 67% chance that Adrian Mateos knocks him out. The flop is Queen 8-8.
Well, looks fine, you know.
Not as fine as the 80s were, though, am I right?
17% chance of a split.
Not the best card in the world.
Well, an ace on the turn has him now drawing to a chop.
Good game.
And that sends Astapow to the exit.
Good luck, guys.
Out in 14th place.
I was wrong.
Sorry, mate. Good game.
Good luck.
Well, I guess it's back to being a roadie for Crucial Taunt.
As Adrian Mateos chips up. 13 now remain, and that pot has taken Mateos up to second on the leaderboard. Schemion still leads after his double up through Johnny Lodden on the first hand of the day. Koichi Nozaki has lost a third of his stack after going up against both Lodden and Schemion, but he's still in a comfortable position. Christopher Frank and Romain Paon are in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
And blinds are up to 12,000, 24,000 with a 3,000 ante. Johnny Lodden has Queen 9 suited. He raises. Jack 10 suited for Schemion.
Ooh, so many possibilities.
He calls. Paon folds, as does Nozaki. Lyndon Basha and Jose Carlos Garcia are out. Mohadin Ferez has Queen 8 off in the big blind.
Love the hat, buddy. I, too, am a fan of the nothings.
He calls as well, three-way to the flop. Once again, a situation where it's one amateur going up against two pros.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the amateur.
Well, it's second pair for Lodden, a gut shot for Schemion, and nada for Ferez.
Standard.
Johnny continues for 88,000.
All I know is if I called trying to chase a gut shot here, I'd be a fish, but if Schemion does it, it's probably fine.
Schemion does call.
Maybe I am good at poker.
Ferez folds, heads up to the turn. It's the 8 of diamonds, so Schemion is now open-ended. Johnny's still a 4-1 favorite.
Schemion's draw gets drawier.
Johnny has checked. Schemion's taking over the betting.
I don't think a bet here really reps anything.
140,000.
Johnny has a ridiculously easy call.
He calls. That means we're going to the river with more than 600k in the pot. The deuce of clubs pairing the board.
Nobody gets there, but Johnny already had the best hand.
Lodden checks again.
And maybe Schemion tries to bluff his jack high.
Nope.
9. Sick flop I had.
He doesn't care.
So Lodden wins at showdown and gets some chips back off Schemion.
Schemion still loses with plenty of swag. Look at him. He's blowing up like a swag grenade.
Schemion has come a long way since we first saw him on the European Poker Tour. Whether he was cheering for a player he just met, or handling a bad beat like any 20-year-old would, it's fair to say that last season's Player of the Year has matured, despite the glare of the spotlight.
The media is pointing at me all the time lately. I guess it's not that unusual. I just try to not let the success go to my head and keep it simple. My secret is just to play my game and try to be successful. I try to understand the dynamics and like the mood of the people, and yeah, just build like images of people and try to use that to make the right decisions. I've been playing a lot of EPTs already, and yeah, it would be nice to win one for sure. It's a nice competition, and the cash, I will take that too. I want to experience other stuff in life. Travel to all the beautiful places in this world, meet new people, new cultures, learn something new, I don't know what, but there will be something, I guess. I don't know, I just see it, what comes.
Ola Scissorhands, in theaters this fall.
Just had a vision of Ola Schemion in IMAX.
520 square meters of swag.
Wow, Nozaki's got kings under the gun again.
This time, buddy, get her, Ray.
He raises to 50,000. Been folded around to Ferez. He passes. Lodden's out. Schemion in the small blind also folds.
Wow, okay.
Jack 7 suited for Romain Payon. And he calls out of the big blind.
Only one opponent this time, and there's no Ola Schemion or Johnny Lodden. Things are looking up.
9-8-5 on the flop. Payon is double gutted. Nozaki's still a big favorite. Action's been checked to the pre-flop aggressor.
Man, I really hope he doesn't get run down this time. With apologies to the Payon fan club, can't afford to upset them again.
A continuation bet of 110,000. Payon calls. The turn card is the 3 of diamonds, so Payon now has a diamond draw as well.
313.
Okay. I'm all in.
Nozaki shoves on Payon.
Call.
And the Frenchman calls.
It looks weird, but he was getting the right price, and I am looking at some Stan Winston concept art because this is a monster draw.
Payon has 15 outs. 6s, 10s, and diamonds are all working for him. 7 of hearts on the river.
Okay.
He's out in 13th.
All aboard the Nozaki pain train.
We're down to 12 as Payon collects the biggest live cash of his career.
Yep, thank you.
Koichi Nozaki is my spirit animal, and that spirit is sake.
Well, we're heading over to the secondary table where we are on cooler alert.
Oh boy.
Ivanov opened with 5s. Pastor 3-bet with aces. Decision now on Mateos, who's got queens.
That's not going to be good for business.
He 4-bets. And Asmar, our qualifier, has jacks.
Wow.
He folds. Christopher Frank
All in?
shoves with kings.
Oh, come on. Is this a standard deck or just one with all the letters of the alphabet?
I didn't look before.
Seriously? Boy, are you going to be happy and then immediately disappointed.
Ivanov has folded. It's back on Pastor.
Yeah, check this out, Johnny Lodden.
He reshoves. What does Mateos do now?
That. Feels bad, man, but I don't think he can fold.
What a ridiculous hand.
Having aces here and having them hold, that's how you become a grand final champion.
And is that? 5.
So sick.
Sicker than Lucille Auster on a Gravitron.
I don't know.
He knows he's losing in at least one spot, but his odds are also pretty sick.
I think I have to call. Yeah.
Mateos calls.
Got aces? No.
I swear I fold jacks. I swear.
Cool story, bro.
Aces versus kings versus queens.
Well, none of the three was there.
6 swept for everyone so deep in the tournament. Even aces aren't totally safe.
Juan Martin Pastor set to triple up. Christopher Frank likely to be eliminated. The flop. 10-4 deuce. The turn card. It's a queen!
I am so sorry. Buenos dias, Adrian.
And now there's a 90% chance we lose 2 players. Mateos goes from worst to first, and it's a double KO! Frank out! Pastor out!
That really sucks.
It's never happened. I swear I pulled the jacks.
Not now, Hady.
Mateos is the new chip leader, and what a horrible beat for the PCA finalist. So Christopher Frank finishes in 12th place for 66,500 euros, while Juan Martin Pastor is officially 11th for 78,400, but that money means nothing to him right now.
What's the difference between ice cream and gelato, anyway?
It's kind of like the difference between mayonnaise and aioli.
Oh, so it's just about being all fancy pants.
Yeah, I mean, look, this place has got cloth napkins.
That would also explain why the mint ice cream costs a mint.
We're down to 10 players at the PokerStars and Monte-Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final. And Lyndon Basher has just moved from the feature table to the secondary table.
That's right, Lyndon. Imagine that's the Barbie, and your card's your shrimp. Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Blinds are still 12-24. Action's been folded to our qualifier on the button. He raises with 3s. Lyndon Basher's got ace-king.
Ace-king, a hand everybody knows what to do with.
That's a raise to 193,000.
It's a big raise.
How much?
Michael.
Asmar calls the 3-bet in position.
He asked how much, but he didn't really seem like he was very interested in the answer. He actually wasn't getting the right price.
Wow, Asmar flops bottom set. Basher drawing thin to a chop. Action check to Asmar.
Basher really just wants to see another card.
Our qualifier bets 100K. Whoops!
Gone.
He was trying to get a small pair to fold, but not that one. Look away, Hady.
Her name's Rachel.
I was talking about the hat.
Nice answer. Thank you.
It was a really good run for the Australian veterinarian. It's not every day you meet someone who's performed surgery on a wallaby.
2 4 outs.
I don't think that's right.
Well, he can still chop this.
You gotta believe it first. He's back in it.
He needs a deuce or a 7 on the river to survive. It's another 5.
He's not back in.
Basher busts.
Hady Asmar might just banana his way to the final table. And the worst news for Basher? Now he's gotta propose.
I think Hady Asmar has just become chip leader.
I've never seen someone on one knee at the payout window before. Do it.
No, I'm proud.
With that elimination, 2 tables become 1. It's time for the final redraw of the tournament. And Hady Asmar is now the chip leader with a stack of nearly 3.2 million. Mateos is second on the leaderboard. Lodden and Schemion are in the middle of the pack. Jose Carlos Garcia is the shortest stack, but no one is in the danger zone.
Danger zone?
And here are their seat assignments on the main stage. It is a tough draw for live satellite winner Koichi Nozaki, with Schemion attacking his big blind, and both Lodden and Mateos have position on him.
Yikes.
Blinds 12,000, 24,000, 3,000 ante, action on Nozaki. He folds.
Can't get in any trouble that way.
Johnny Lodden has ace-jack. He raises to 50,000. Folded around to Marcus Ross. He passes. Therese and Asmar are out. Schemion gives up the small blind. Dmitry Ivanov calls out of the big blind. The flop brings second pair for Ivanov, a gut shot for Lodden.
Betting here makes perfect sense. Maybe you have the best hand, maybe you catch your draw, but mostly you just want folds.
A c-bet of 72,000 from Johnny.
A pair isn't folding, though.
Ivanov calls. Turn card. A deuce. Ivanov checks.
Think taking a free card is fine?
Lodden checks as well. The river's a king. Broadway for Johnny.
Not much point in Dmitry betting this.
Ivanov has checked.
And Johnny's got the nuts, so he's got no choice but to bet it. Just hope his opponent doesn't believe him.
244,000.
Do you believe, Dmitry? Do you?
Ivanov folds.
He believed.
So Johnny Lodden up over 2 million. He's an above average stack once again. So after a pretty terrible start to day 5, Johnny has clawed his way back into contention. This is his 19th EPT cash, including a third place finish in this very event just 2 years ago.
It's a special thing. That was like my first big final table. This as well is huge, so hopefully I can just relax and take it as it comes, and God give me some good cards. It's one goal in mind, and that's the trophy. And the money, of course.
If Johnny keeps talking about God, he could end up the next US president.
Well, Johnny's on an upswing right now. Another player on a bit of a heater is Adrian Mateos. So on this hand, we are going to sweat with Adrian.
Buenos dias, Adrian.
It's our qualifier, Hady Asmar, who's under the gun.
All right, take it easy with the qualifier. We're sweating with Adrian here. Come on.
Hady raises to 56,000. Schemion calls. Folded around to Johnny Lodden. He's out. So what does Mateos have? Ace-10 of hearts.
It's a good hand we can't fold, but we also don't really want to 3-bet a relative amateur opening from under the gun.
He calls, and with Jose Carlos Garcia folding the button, Adrian has position.
That's right. We are last to act.
3-way to the flop. Queen 10-4. Second pair for Mateos.
I like it, but I don't love it.
Action gets checked around.
Totally fine with a check there.
Turn card to the 6 of clubs. 2 flush draws out there now. And here comes a delayed continuation bet from Hady Asmar. The qualifier makes it 56K.
That is a pretty small bet.
Only Schemion raises to 160,000.
Now, it's entirely possible Ola's raising because he's attacking perceived weakness. Seems a little crazy to call here, but I think Ola's gonna have nothing a lot.
Mateos calls. And Asmar calls as well, so still three-way as we go to the river.
I kind of like him for a draw there most of the time.
8 of spades completes the board. Asmar checks. Schemion, who raised the turn, checks as well.
I think our hand is good enough. We can just check. If we bet, I don't know if it'd be a bluff or a value bet.
Looks like Mateos is betting. 711,000 in the middle. He bets 435,000.
I guess we're trying to bluff out slightly better, like a bad queen.
Now Asmar folds. He had a gut shot on the turn and paired his 8 on the river, but no.
Ola could definitely hero us with worse, and I'm leaning toward that the more painful this looks for him.
Schemion calls. He has pocket 9s.
Pipped. I guess we were value betting.
Schemion lost more than 650k in that hand.
Swag levels appear to be unaffected. Oh, swag levels dropping.
How was the betting for the turn?
Bet, raise, call.
Nice hand.
Bet, raise, call for the turn.
And Adrian Mateos has retaken the chip lead, up over 3 million. Well, blinds are up. 15,000, 30,000 with a 4,000 ante.
All in. All in.
Ivanov shoves under the gun with 5s.
Good luck, transition lenses.
How much is that?
Mateos has 8s.
340.
This is a call.
Call.
He does call.
You just hope there's no more fireworks behind you.
It's been folded round to the blinds. Asmar out. Schemion out. Ivanov, a 4-1 underdog. He is looking for a 5.
An 8 on the turn would actually be a sweat.
There's a jack on the turn, so no additional outs for the Russian. The river card is an 8. Ivanov's out.
His mood is dark, like those glasses.
Good luck, everyone.
So we are down to 8 of the best.
While Ivanov collects 95,300 euros for his 9th place finish, it's his second EPT cash.
Buenos dias, Adrian.
So how would you like to join us at the next EPT Grand Final? Qualify now at PokerStars.com.
Damn! Even the breakfast here is ridiculous.
Fabergé. Hang on. Isn't it your turn to pay?
Egg? Excuse me.
I'll have cornflakes, please.
We're down to 8 in Monaco, and Spain's Adrian Mateos is the man in command. He's already got a World Series of Poker Europe bracelet, and now he's looking to beat the best and claim the PokerStars and Monte-Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final trophy. Well, Mateos is the current chip leader, while Johnny Lodden continues his comeback after a pretty meh start to the day. Koichi Nozaki is still in with a chance of becoming the first Japanese champ, but he is the current shorty. Line still 15-30.
Physical chips. You got him.
I'm already.
Nozaki shoves for 18 bigs with ace-10 from under the gun.
Okay, I thought.
When you do this with ace-10, you really just want it to get through. A call is almost never good.
Jack-Queen for Muhaddin Ferez. He folds. Asmar is out. Schemion has tens.
And a call ain't gonna be good here.
He calls, putting Nozaki at risk.
Call straight down.
Ole is cold.
You want an ace?
Pocket
You
10s,
sure?
10 of hearts, 10 of clubs.
How much better is this guy's vacation gonna get?
He's looking for an ace on the flop. Now he needs to hit on the turn or river. Schemion, an 85% favorite. Just one card to come. 3 outs for Nozaki.
Whether it comes or not, this guy's kind of free-rolling at life right now.
The river is a 9. We lose Koichi.
Yep.
Hey, Raj.
Pair of 10s.
Nice playing with you.
Thank you, Raj.
Love that guy.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you.
Well, that was a pretty good use of 10 years worth of vacation days.
Schemion stacks chips as Nozaki scores the best ever result for a Japanese player in an EPT main event.
I did it.
You really did.
Schemion now 5th in chips after KOing Nozaki, who's clearly feeling good about coming 8th in the grand final.
もうとりあえず自分の実力以上のものがというかもうすごいハンドもいっぱい入ってですね、ボードも噛んですごい良かったですね。で本当こういう素晴らしいトーナメントで、すごい実力以上の結果を出せてすごい嬉しいです。とりあえず今日ハンドがどのぐらい入ってたかわかんないですけど、ジョニーはすごいいいプレーをしていたという思います。あとオレとかもやっぱうまいですね。はい。
He's gonna celebrate by spending the next few nights in a hotel room that isn't a drawer.
So we are down to 7. Action on our qualifier.
70.
70,000.
Hady Asmar raises with ace-queen suited. Queen 8 suited for Adrian Mateos. He calls on the button. Marcus Ross in the big blind has 10-9.
Sure, he's got the chips to peel in the big blind if he wants.
He's capped his cards, indicating that he will continue in the hand.
Call.
He's coming along for the ride. We're going 3-way to the flop.
I hope he looks that stressed out when he's got good hands too.
Well, that's top pair for Asmar, bottom pair for Ross, a flush draw for Mateos. Asmar continues for 105,000.
Starts best, flops best, fine with the bet.
Mateos calls. Ross folds. The turn card is a 9. Oh, Ross, why didn't you stick around?
Still 2 flush draws out there now, though.
Check, check. And that river card gives Asmar the nut flush.
Pretty straightforward hand.
$463,000 in the middle. He bets $250,000.
Not only does Mateos not have anything, but I think he's not going to put up much of a fight.
He faults.
Asmar is usually going to be pretty strong there with the line he took.
And our qualifier regains the chip lead.
Very good bluff.
It's not a bluff.
Don't tell him that stuff.
Remember this hand. On TV, you'll see that I'm not bluffing.
He's swagging your ego for information, Hady.
Johnny Lodden is under the gun, first to act. Ace King of Diamonds.
So pretty.
He raises to 70,000. Folded to Muhaddin Ferez on the button. He passes. Hady Asmar is out. Just Schemion in the big blind. Pocket 9s.
99, the best deal in town.
Your serve. Try to make a big raise.
Yeah, I adjust perfectly.
Swoon.
Flop is Queen Jack Deuce. 9s are still ahead, but Johnny has decent equity with 2 overs and a straight draw.
which means he's pretty much always going to take a stab at this.
He continues for 75k. Schemion calls. Turn cards, the 3 of clubs. Schemion now a decent favorite. He checks a second time.
I like Johnny firing again here, playing this as a semi-bluff because sometimes you get a hand like nines to fold and you still got decent equity even if you get called.
Second barrel from Lodden, 225,000.
Too good, so good.
Schemion folds.
Too good of a hand.
Not lying.
Lodden adds 184k to his stack.
Unlucky.
Who, you or him?
Him?
Why?
Why unlucky? Because you didn't win a hand.
I don't get it.
Unlucky because I hit better than you.
Blinds are up to 20,000, 40,000 with a 5,000 ante. Jose Carlos Garcia folds. Marcus Ross has queen 6, mucks it. Perez passes. Asmar is out. Kings for Schemion on the button.
Danger.
He raises. Makes it 85,000. Pocket 9s for Adrian Mateos in the big blind. Just a call.
That's the danger I was talking about. At least he didn't 3-bet.
10 high flop. Schemion still a massive favorite. He continues for 100,000.
Call here would be totally understandable.
He does call. The turn card is a queen. Gives Mateos a gut shot.
Looks like Ola's going to be able to go for 3 full streets.
Mateos checks to him a second time. Schemion bets 250,000.
And sadly for Mateos, he would be ahead a fair amount.
He calls. Nearly $1 million in the middle. The river cards, the 8 of spades, pairing the board. Once again, Mateos checks.
And here comes the 3rd street.
More than half pot, 515,000.
I think lucky for Mateos, this is a pretty bad run out for nines. You can't beat a queen or a 10 or an 8. And nines actually block a lot of Ola's bluffs.
Mateos gives it up. And Schemion is now playing more than 3 million. He is second in chips.
Of course he is. He's Ola Schemion.
Still 7-handed as we play down to the final 6. 10-7 suited for Adrian Mateos. He raises to 100,000. Marcus Ross is in the small blind. He's got ace queen.
You need to 3-bet this. 3-bet like the wind.
Ross decides to move all in.
Maybe a little big, but
it'll get through. Scratch that.
Oh, Billy.
Call.
Perez wakes up with aces in the big blind and calls.
Adios, Adrian.
And Marcus Ross is at risk and way, way behind.
Yeah, that is unlucky. It continues to be Perez Bueller's day on.
Ooh, queen on the flop.
Hearts or queens? A jack of hearts would be great.
Give him something.
He doesn't get anything. So only a queen on the river can save Marcus Ross. It's a jack. So Ross is out in 7th. We are down to the final 6, and they will now advance to day 6.
Muhyiddin Perez, acting like he's been there before.
Ross collects the not inconsiderable sum of 174,300 euros.
7th in the grand final. Pretty impressive.
But not as good as making it to the final day.
Just like that, wake up with aces in big blind, huh?
Yeah. He's got less chips than he started with, but a lot more prize money.
And huge congrats to Johnny Lodden for making the final table of this event for the 2nd time in 3 years. But it's the 2 amateurs, Asmar and Fares, who come into the final day as chip leaders, but Schemion isn't that far behind them. Next time, one of these 6 players will be crowned Grand Final champion.
I'm all in.
Big laydown.
Every decision is critical.
All in.
Skola på instinkt, alltså jag har blickstyrna där.